Welcome to the Love Kanika podcast. My name is Kanika,
My name is Vanita.
and we are back for another show. If
Yep,
you are
yep.
new to our channel, which you probably are because it's a kind of a new channel and a new podcast, welcome, welcome. If you don't mind subscribing and also liking the video, we would appreciate it because we do this show on Wednesday at 7:30, and sometimes on the weekend we go live, so you will be notified if we go live on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So, how are you, V?
I'm good. Chilling.
You doing good, chilling?
Ready for the weekend.
Girl, I stay ready for the weekend.
Yeah, same
When
here.
Monday comes, I'm ready for the weekend again.
Same here.
Especially when I have a lot of fun stuff playing on the weekend, like
Yes.
I always do.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm with you on that. So tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about what kind of have seen going on, on the internet and these internet streets, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, whatever conversations I'm seeing a lot of um, people having about relationships. Now, that's all we like to talk about in relationships, child, because
Pretty
everybody is
much.
is void and broken and hurting, and they think somebody else gonna fulfill that. So that's the reason why you hear the chatter about relationships, and that's basically all we talk about. But nonetheless, I wanted to talk about this thing I'm seeing where there's a movement that I'm so happy to see. I've been waiting on this day for a long time
Okay.
of women finally waking up to the notion that you've kind of been bamboozled um in the sense of the patriarchal idea of what women should do, who women should be, the role that women should play, and how all of these things have basically benefited men the most versus you, but society has kind of programmed women to believe that this is what you should want. This is, what your goal should aspire to be. This is what you're put here to do. And what I call these things, this ego identity. So what I'm seeing a lot of is women are beginning to finally see, that all of these things, all of these rules and regulations that surround being a woman, how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to be subdued, when it comes to our sexuality, how we're supposed to dress a certain kind of way, kind of all of these things, women are finally beginning to see, that it's just all basically manipulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
To benefit the egos of men. Now, because we're in a time period where the traditional relationship, I don't know what's happening to it, and there are people who are in relationships and are getting married, but for the most part, you see a lot of single people. Do you see that, V?
Yeah, it's a lot of single people, and it's not just women; it's men too.
It's a
And it seems
lot.
to be by choice on both sides.
Yeah, it's a lot of single people. I think that's a different, a lot of reasons. I think people have already did the relationship marriage thing, and some people don't want to do that no more because they felt like, they, number one, wasted time, number two, were burnt, you know
Exactly.
or got the short end of the stick in that relationship. So
Hmm.
some people just aren't willing to do it no more. I think another thing is people are, everybody looking for unicorns. Everybody have their list of, you know
What
what
they not
they.
gonna deal with, and we don't
Yeah.
have no patience with one another either. Everything is kind of, if you will, microwavable nowadays.
What you mean by
Everybody
that?
wanna pop it in the microwave and it just pop out ready, as opposed to putting it in the oven. Oven take a lot longer to cook
It does. It does.
than
And
it
then,
does in the microwave. So in other words, we're not giving each other grace worth a doggone.
yeah, we're not taking the time to really get to know each other.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's a big
Not at
part of
all.
why.
And then if we see a red flag from past experiences from exes, we X the person out as opposed to having a conversation. We perceive, definitely at our ages, in our 40s, we perceive that one another should already know how you should quote unquote behave.
Yeah,
But Kanika may accept something that I don't accept, and vice versa. So you can't expect whatever dude to come in that may have been with her first and then go to the next person that, however she expected to be treated, the next chick is going to be okay with being treated that exact same way. We don't look at it that way.
we don't. We don't. And again, patience and just not trusting each other enough
Hmm.
because of what has happened in everybody's past with their
Exactly.
exes and they baby mamas and daddies,
Exactly.
this
Exactly.
culture, it's a lack of trust. So people are not getting into traditional relationships. But nonetheless, a
Hmm.
lot of women, like I stated, are beginning to wake up and to be honest, are becoming okay with the notion that some women not be single for the rest of their life, right?
I
Numerous
mean,
of reasons why.
I
Yeah,
was about to say, if you look at the numbers alone, I mean, that's going to be the case either way.
yeah, that's gonna be the case. Just like you said, numbers, and even if every nan, black man in the U.S. married a black woman today, it'll still be millions of black women left over. So
Yeah.
that stands to reason that some women will be single, to the day they die. And when a lot of women, I'm seeing a lot of women are saying they're okay with that. They just want to live their best life. They want to travel. They want to make money and just be at peace. I see a lot of women saying, you know, I'm choosing peace over the drama that they have, been through in
Hmm.
relationships with men. Now, the interesting thing about this is the reaction that I'm seeing from men is crazy because Vanita, is it me? But for the most part, men don't really seem to be that pressed about relationships. Do you see that with them?
No, that's what I said just now. I mean, it's not just on the women's side, it's the men's side too. They're not really pressed for it. And for them, again, women tend to be able to get over whatever their past relationship was, however scarring it was, they willing to, if you will, take a chance again on the next person.
Yes,
But men aren't really, they don't really be willing to do that.
they're not.
They it
They're
take
not.
them a long time, if ever, to
Yeah.
decide that they want to get back into something again. So
Yeah. One
yeah,
heart,
they
one
not.
heart done. Yeah.
They're not pressed for no relationship at all.
So it's interesting to see that I've seen a lot of their reactions when women say, okay, we're good with being single. We just rather travel and, you know, I sleep and make money. It's cool. Men are
Hmm.
like, no, you don't. No, you wouldn't. You can't be happy without us. There's no way you can be happy without having a man. I get that so much. That's why you single.
I
Like
think it
that's
just helps them, their ego feel better. Unfortunately, we move out of our egos way, 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 way too much. So it's just an ego stroke. Is you couldn't, there's no way that you could be happy without me. Why would you, how is that even possible? Uh Man-made woman, or God made woman for man according to them, quote unquote, according to
that's what they
them.
say.
Yeah, for them. And things have changed. Society has changed. Things have,
Yeah.
have definitely changed. So women are looking at it as, no, I really don't think I really do need y'all. Not like that. Now,
Yeah.
I can choose to want to be with you, but I think that they're starting to set up boundaries and set up standards more so for themselves. I mean, it's a lot of podcasters that's screaming to ladies, listen, set boundaries, love yourself more. And in advising that, I think there is a movement where ladies are starting to set their boundaries. And if they perceive that you're not meeting their boundaries, they're not willing to do it. And it is throwing men back like, wait a minute, there's a shift going on and we're not really getting it. It takes them, again, like I just said, with relationships, it takes them a minute to catch on to the change. They don't move quickly on the change. They just don't.
Well, there's a reason for that. So, and that's what I want to talk about tonight. And this also can. This is we're talking about men, but this is going to relate to all of us,
Hmm.
humanity in general. Everybody is attached to their ego role. So,
Exactly.
what is an ego role? So, many, I don't, if you've watched any of my podcasts in the past, I always say, not always, but I know I've said in some other shows that what humans, a lot of us aren't aware of, we're unconscious of, is that we're souls having a human experience,
Exactly.
not a human with a soul inside of us. So,
And like we
you-
have said in past episodes, for y'all to relate a little bit more, think about the movie from Will Smith, Men in Black, when he had the little alien inside that body. The
or
little
even,
alien is what she's saying is your soul.
or
And
well, I'm gonna get it. If you haven't seen Neil in Black, I'm just gonna say what I know
okay.
everybody know. You just think about it this way. If you go to Disney World, right,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
you see the Disney parade, and you see Mickey Mouse in the costume, right?
Hmm.
We all
Yeah.
know that inside that costume is a human.
There you go.
It's
Yeah.
just a costume on the outside. That's kind of how this
Same
is.
concept. Yeah.
You, the inside of the costume, is the real you. That's your soul, right?
Hmm.
So this frame that we're in is a ego identity that we use to navigate society or the matrix or the world or whatever you want to call it, the world we live in. I call it the matrix, right?
Hmm.
So in these suits, these costumes we have on, right? Like there are labels to this thing. Now, mind you, go back to what I'm saying. Now, we're not this, we're soul inside of a costume. So, my costume is black, female, uh, no kids, slap tall. It's so many labels that will apply to me, right? That the world uses to relate to this costume here.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is my ego identity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Black woman, Christian, if I was Christian, um, hey darling, all of these are ego-based identities, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and because we have these ego identities or these identities we use to navigate the matrix or navigate the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've also assigned task and different programs or different
What do
things
you mean by task?
like
Explain what do
task
you mean by task?
meaning um because I am in the costume of woman. Now I'm a
Mm-hmm.
soul, but I'm playing a woman in this lifetime.
Okay.
Women, quote unquote, are tied to the task of being mothers. You get
Okay.
it?
Yes.
So women is synonymous with mother, not because I have motherly instincts or want to be a mother, but because I am a woman. So society has tied woman to mother together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody somewhere, right? Did
Yes.
this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same with men, right? Men, their ego identity, right? Male, and this male's all over the world. It's just not black males, it's male. The male ego identity is tied to being the picker or the chooser of relationships, right? We're the ones who ask you to marry us. We're the ones, you hear this all the time with men, where when they say we hold the power for relationships, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So their ego identity is rooted in the ability or the power to say, whether or not you get married or you in a relationship, right? It's deep
Okay.
too. And particularly for black males, that's is huge because whereas other males in society, ego identity um is also rooted in running things like the government, banking, uh everything, basically technology, right?
Okay.
Our ego
Mm-hmm.
identity is rooted in that as men. A lot of our men don't have any of that, right? So
Okay.
the way they express this thing of being a man is sex, uh having the power to whether or not you get married. All of that is synonymous in their head because this is the label that we've given them, right? This is the
Mm-hmm.
power that we've given them as being men, they get to choose, right? So if you, as women, say, no, we're good, we don't need that anymore, then they've lost a big part of their ego identity. That's why they're melting down. They don't even know it though. They don't know why they care so much because if you don't want to be in a relationship like a lot of them are saying for various reasons and we say okay that's cool, we good with that, then why would you be upset about it?
There will be no need to be
You
because we're
be
giving you
they're
what you want.
exactly, they're upset about it because it's a loss of power, it's the ego. Society, all of us unconsciously, that's why it's important. I'm gonna talk a lot about this on this show. It's so important to become aware of your ego identity because you're not any of these things. You're a
Very
soul
true.
having a human experience and you're using
Exactly.
this body to
Mm-hmm.
navigate the matrix or the physical world so you can we came here to learn lessons and evolve. All of this is for that, right?
The
it
school of life.
it's the school of life. At the end of the day, none of this means anything, right? Because when we take our last breath, we drop these costumes and go back to the other side of heaven, wherever you want to call it, wherever we come from, right? So this
Mhm.
wouldn't even mean anything. But
Exactly.
because people think that they are these things, men think that they're black men. That's why they're so rooted in their ego identity because no one teaches them that they're souls. They don't know this. So everything about their existence exists in the identity of what men do, who men are. They even say stuff like, I've heard so many men say, you don't talk to men that way. Like they can yell at you or say anything to you, but because they believe that they're superior, that's another thing society has told them based on religion, based on the religion who would also written by men. They've literally manipulated the entire society to their benefit, everything to their benefit.
They
Have
have even your
told them
jobs.
everything. They've
Mhm.
manipulated everything to make women believe that you're less than them, um, that you should be happy or striving for one of them to choose you. So many women are rooted in the belief that you should be striving for marriage. Now, there's nothing wrong with marriage. If you want to get married, so be it. If you find someone, y'all love each other, it's a beautiful thing. I'm not against marriage at all. But too many women, and even ones I know personally, has spent too much energy chasing this title of marriage. And because society has told women that's what you're supposed to do, right? Also, relationships in general. We spend so much of our energy and time trying to get into a relationship and not enough time and energy on the purpose for us being on earth. But no one taught us that. No one teaches, well, you
That's
might want to find your purpose and then all else will line up with whatever that is. That
mhm.
includes, the money, the man, everything, fulfillment, everything that we're really looking for comes in finding your purpose, not waiting on a man to pick you off the shelf and say you're good enough. And that's why a lot of women also have low self-esteem because society has taught women that your value and your worth comes on what men say, and what if men validate your looks or if men marry you, there's a lot of prestige that society puts on being a wife, right? Because society gives has told men that has told women that a man choosing you is a big deal, right? That
Mhm.
you're somehow good enough or better if you become a wife. And it's all just lies. It's all lies to number one, keep you chasing them, right? And to keep you under control. Because let me let y'all in on something. Men understand the power of your vagina. You don't understand the power of your vagina. So they in a way they do this to keep women under control. Because think about it like this, guys. If every woman decided today, you know what, we're not giving up no more free pussy, none. If every woman today decided, you know what, in order to get this, you're gonna have to pay for it. Do you know what that would do to men in society? Because they worship a pussy god. Y'all don't know that? This is why men don't like you to have a lot of bodies. I'm gonna have a whole show on the psychology of why men don't want you to have a lot of bodies. It's very, very deep. It's deep. It's very deep in them. It's not really about what they say it's about, but I'm gonna break that down. That's why they try to control that part of you by using religion, saying, um, well, the Bible says this about this, and the Bible says this about you need to be pure for your husband, and da 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 da. Because if you went bug wild and did what you wanted to with that pussy, a lot of them may not get none. So they had to get in your head. They had to get into your head because they rely a lot on having sex with you. Whatever that
Hmm.
is in them,
It
it
drive them crazy.
drives them bananas.
It does.
Yeah, so they have to put some ways, some control mechanisms, inside of women so that they'll have access, to that for them. And the way you control anybody, you got to get in their head. That's how you control. That's how
That's true. That's very
religion
true.
do it. That's how pimps do it.
Everybody.
You got to get into their head. So what society
Yep.
has done is they put all these moral compasses on women, and your sexuality, because men understand that they need to control it. Because if we revolt, they would go, but I don't even know what would happen. They would go.
They will probably start killing one another or
It
killing
would be
on a
complete
deep
chaos.
level. It
Yeah,
would
it
be
would be
chaos.
complete chaos. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Shame tactics. Exactly. They shame you to control you. Well, if you sleep with so many men, then you're a slut, or you da 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 da, because they trying to make you not do it because they want to control it for themselves, right? Men think it's I wish I was how deep this is. Men shame women for wanting money or gifts or whatever, anything in exchange for sex, right? They say, well, that's prostitution or that's whatever, that's whatever, right? They shame it.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what in essence that they're telling women? You need to
What's
you need to be cool with giving it up for free. You shouldn't want nothing out of this. That's what that says. If they're telling you you should not be compensated at all, that means you should be cool with getting nothing out of it. Because most, particularly in our community, they don't get no wedding. You don't get no marriage. You get a baby.
I don't even think they come. Not really.
Women
Sorry,
are
ladies. I
women
don't
are
think y'all be
women
coming
are
like y'all be
not
saying y'all are.
women are not even orgasming,
Yeah.
right? So you don't get commitment, you don't get marriage, you don't get no orgasm, you get a goddamn baby. And you're supposed to be good with that. That's what society has convinced women of. Thank God. Women are finally waking up and saying, "Hey, I need to get something out of this deal." Right? It's a reciprocity. Stop letting men manipulate you to think you're supposed to be doing everything for them and not getting anything out of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like Vanita said, most of the time, a lot of women ain't even coming. You're not even, or they can't even do that, right? It's
A lot of
all
them can't for a lot of different reasons.
it's all manipulation. And the key is to become aware of it. Awareness is the key to not only changing your thought process, but changing your life. You got to become aware of society's goal to keep you under control, specifically women, right? Because you possess a lot of power. You possess a lot of power. I mean, you have you give birth. You create
Like,
life.
yep.
That's a magnificent power. Men know it, and men know how important your vagina is to them. They know it. That's why they do all of these shaming tactics to you, try to make you feel bad, to tame you so they can have access to you, right? You got to become aware of this. And this is not here to shame men or talk that about men, because they were born into they were born into this, so they think it's right.
Yeah, they don't know anything different than
They don't know
this.
anything different. They were born into this mentality of
Hmm.
patriarchy. So, and it benefits them. So, hey, why not? People ain't gonna change the thing that benefits them, right?
That would be ludicrous. Real talk. That would be
Right.
ludicrous.
They want to keep these things in place because they're
Hmm.
winning. But I've seen it all my life. I've seen women getting the short end of all the sticks, basically, particularly in our community. Yeah, I
And
don't
that's based off of y'all choice. So
break
that's
it
why we're
down, Vanessa.
having the conversation,
What do
because
you
it's
mean?
based off of your choice. Free will. You can always tell them no. You can set boundaries for yourself. That's what we're saying. Set boundaries for yourself, which thank God, like we said at the beginning of the show, a lot of women are coming around to it, but just letting y'all know, continue to do what's best for you is what
Yeah.
we're saying.
Yes. It's okay to choose yourself.
For sure.
Society has told women that everybody else come before you. These
Absolutely not.
men, these kids, your family. You supposed to take care of everybody else and push yourself first. No, 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 no. That's losing.
That
You
is
gotta
losing.
choose you. Because at the end of the day, when you on your deathbed and you taking your last breath, you don't want to look back and wish you had to live your life for you.
Exactly. Or felt like you should have been happier in this lifetime when you have a choice to choose it now.
Yes, and that means you have to stop living for the approval of society, particularly men, because society has brainwashed women to believe that your value comes from when men say you're valuable or you're pretty, or you're good enough for marriage or whatever. Society has made women believe that, which is why so many women run behind relationships all your life. You're looking for that validation that society has told you you have to get from men. And in our community, it's very rare that women leave relationships better than they came in. Them very rare. Usually, women leave emotionally broken with some kids. So you running to what? Because most men don't even emote. They're not even comfortable with emotions. They're not even comfortable with it.
No, that's true. It
They
takes them a
don't.
long time,
A
if ever.
long
Again,
time. They're not millionaires. I think only 16% of our men, black men, make over $100,000 a year. So most men are going to make average money. So they're not millionaires. They don't emote. So exactly what are women running to? If you find a great man, y'all love each other, whatever, run it, do it, but make sure you're benefiting from this exchange of a relationship, and you're not trying to get in one because you're getting older. Society said that you're supposed to be in one. You're lonely because that energy is going to draw a man who's just going to make your life worse. He's not going to add to it.
mhm,
And relationships are reciprocal, and so
they
many of us,
are.
we get in them and we hold them together. We do all the work. We do this. We do that. No, it has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. You don't get in it to
Yes.
do all the work,
Yep.
right?
Should be a give and take.
And in our community, we see a lot of that. It's all around us. Women been doing the work and holding the stuff together for decades now, and it's just time out for that. That's not your role. And again, going back to ego roles, the ego identity of a lot of black women is the workhorse. The workhorse. You do all the work. You hold
Yeah. You run
everybody on your
yourself into the
shoulders.
ground
Yeah,
with no reciprocity for yourself at all.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to stop that. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's just not healthy.
Women, you already got to be moms.
Exactly. And you giving out a lot on that alone. A ton. You
Yeah,
you constantly pouring the pitcher of water out and nothing's getting pouring back into the pitcher.
nothing's getting poured back in the picture, and you got to take. That's up to you. You have to set the boundaries in
You
your own
do.
life to make sure people they're not sucking you dry.
Exactly. Exactly.
Everybody. In other words, save yourself. Don't let these ego identity roles that people are telling you gotta play, because that's all it is. Society said you gotta do this. Who are they to tell you what you need to do with your life? Only you and God know your purpose for this life. Stop letting society run you, and men and the peanut gallery and your religion and your parents and your family and all these people. What did God tell you were here to do?
When individuals, I would say, ladies, when individuals are asking you or telling you that you should do a particular type of thing, ask them, well, what am I going to get out of doing it? Because I don't think we
Absolutely.
ever make that statement when
Absolutely.
when a guy is saying, well, you should be doing this, or even your parents telling you you should be doing this, or even your kids telling you you should be doing this. What am I getting out of it?
That's a big one. When you talk kind of because of course I'm not a mom, so I can't talk as much about it.
What are you getting
What
out of it?
what is it when you setting boundaries with your kids? That's a big thing. A lot of mothers, I think, um, kind of struggle with is setting boundaries, with your children.
It's setting boundaries with your children is very difficult.
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose your battles more than anything. Your kids, definitely teenagers, may say, "Well, mom, I got this going on or that going on," and they may not be in a space of driving at the time. So it's you ripping and running, but yeah, you just got off from work. You still need to make sure it's food in the house. Your homegirl has called and said, "Yo, let's go Wednesday night drinks or Tuesday night taco night." And you like, "Well, wait a minute. I'm supposed to take little Johnny or a little Kim to such and such and such." It's okay to tell little Kim and little Johnny, "Nah, you can't do that tonight because I'm about to go have these Taco Tuesdays. God dog it.
Yeah.
I'm about to go have this margarita. So you're gonna bring your ass home and go on to sit in this house and live your best life in this house while I go live my best life out." So it's things kind of like that you want to set your boundaries to. Or, when the kids are small and they want to play. Listen, come on, ladies. All of us don't like playing toys all the time. Yo, that you get tired of the toys after a while. Listen, little Johnny, little Kim, you sit right here and learn how to entertain yourself. Read this book, do something on your own. It's okay. It's okay to tell them to sit over there and let you live your best life. Or you going in the bathroom and having you getting in the tub and you about to have yourself a drink with some candles around the tub. Listen, I'm telling you, don't knock on this goddamn door for the next 2 hours. And I mean it. Don't knock on this door.
Yeah.
Figure it out yourself. You got to set boundaries for yourself.
Absolutely.
Figure out ways to set boundaries. When it comes to, you do. Well, babe, did you cook tonight? Listen. Didn't I just cook the last 2-3 nights? Y'all better hook up them leftovers, or you better go order some food, Uber Eats, go pick up some shit. Like, you grown, you was eating before we got into this relationship.
Yeah.
It's time out on that.
Yes.
You in a relationship, your husband's there, you got the kids there, your boyfriend's there, you got the kids there. Listen, I'm about to go out of town with my girls. That's okay.
Yes.
I'm here 365 days majority of the time.
Yeah.
It's okay to take like 3-4 days out of them 365. That's okay.
Yes.
But
Yourself.
you ladies have to set the boundaries. You have to say time out on it. Because they're not going to give you grace. They're not going to be like, "Oh, mom, don't you think you need to go do such and such?" Or, "Oh, babe, don't you think you need to go do such and such?" They're not going to say that. It's very few men and very few kids that say something like that. It's usually me, 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 me. They only worried about themselves. They don't give a damn if you get drained. They don't care. Even your jobs. Don't let your job manipulate you. "Well, I need you to work overtime, Jill, because we need this report done by such and such and such." Yo, when we signed that contract for this job, you told me you was going to pay me this amount. From this time to this time. Those are my hours. If you want me to work outside of these hours, you will either pay me or I'm out. Right. And then even if they pay you and you don't feel like it, that's okay.
Yeah.
You have to set boundaries. Everything for everything in your life. Because people will use you, ladies. They will use you.
Yes. And wear you down. Have you looking old and tired, wrinkled, and wore out?
Yes.
No, don't allow people to do that to you. You deserve time to yourself. You earn time to yourself. You are not everybody's maid, servant, and workhorse.
You're
and
not.
You got to be okay with that because society will tell you that you are. It's the ego identity role that they have given to women.
Be loyal to you, because people are not loyal to you. I don't care who it is. People are loyal to themselves, so be loyal to yourself.
Absolutely. You have to survive. You have to be loyal to, like Vanita said, not only to yourself, but also who you are. Stop trying to fit into the roles of society, these ego identity roles. be you, whatever that is. It's okay.
That way.
It's okay.
Yes.
And if you want to play the role, that's fine. But just
Then
know
play
that
it.
you're playing a role.
That's it.
But if you want to step out of that role and do some craziness,
That's
because
okay
you just want to
too.
do it,
You want to
yeah.
flip on the stripper pole? Flip on the goddamn stripper pole.
If you want
Get
to climb the,
it
I'm telling you, if you want to climb the pole, honey.
in. Sheesh.
If you want to, whatever you want to do, it's okay. It's okay to live life outside
Yes.
of what society has told you you should live or the way you should live.
Exactly.
Especially like Vanita said, when we're expressing our sexuality, that's a big one. I'm gonna have a whole show on that. And I know so many women who don't even master that. You don't even touch yourselves.
Don't have no toys, and it be based off of craziness for men. I dated a guy back in the days. It's been some years ago now, but I went to say some words in the bedroom because I'm a talker. Went to say some words in the bedroom, and he literally said it turned him off, and I was like, "Yo, bro, are you serious right
Are
now?
you serious? I can't even talk.
I can't talk. You want me to lay here mute? So you just want it missionary? Like, just we just gonna be in the same position all the time? Like, yo, that's boring. I
And
don't.
see, and
That's
see, for
boring.
some women, that would shut them down. Like, oh, men don't like me. You know what I mean? Like, men don't like that. Maybe I shouldn't say those nasty words or whatever. No,
Yeah. After he made that comment, I was out. Yo, we're not compatible. Sorry, I'm gone.
exactly. Because saying nasty stuff in the bedroom is who you are, right?
Yes, that's
And,
what
and,
I enjoy doing.
and it's
So how
okay.
dare you mute me? Because that's literally what he was. He was muting me.
Who
Who mutes
does that as
somebody?
a
I have
man?
my own voice. Like that's not okay. Because if I would have told him, yo, it's not okay to stick your dick in me, then he would have felt some kind of way.
He would have. He would have. Exactly. Don't allow people to try to make you feel guilty for being who you are, particularly when it comes
Exactly.
to your sexuality. I mean, whatever you like to do. If you like to watch Pornhub or watch
Whatever it
other
is.
people or swimming
Yes.
or,
Whatever.
whatever you like to do, it's okay
If
to
that's what you
express
like, that's what
that,
you like.
express that part of you. You only get one life.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we're sexual beings. We're multifaceted. And that's another thing.
Very much so. We're
We
very
try to
multifaceted.
pigeonhole women into these one thing. You got to act like this to be a lady or act like that to be a lady. No, it's different parts of us, that we might want to express,
Mm-hmm.
on different times in our life, different days. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about society because this is your life. You got to live it. Society gonna judge you whether you do good or
It's always going to be a judgment. They're always going to
you
dislike something
are
you
never
do.
gonna
You
please
can,
them.
yes,
Never.
you can do the blueprint to the T to what they say, and they still going to tell you it's something that you do wrong.
They're gonna
Still,
judge you.
it
People are gonna
does
judge
not
you.
matter. People are always going to judge you. It's somebody that's always going to judge you.
Yeah, particularly men, because again, men, their goal is to tame your sexuality because so they can have access to it. Because if you find a one that's a man who's the bomb in bed and his dick is, the more men you had, probably the more you know who good and who bad. That F's with their ego, right?
It does.
It messes with their ego. That's why they want you to have a lot of men because they don't want you to have a lot of experience because they don't know whether they're good or not. I mean, they say they
That's
know, they say they are, but they don't really know, and that messes with them, right? That's a
that is
huge
true.
part of their ego identity.
That
Them
is
being
very
able to
true.
perform with you in bed is a huge part
Yeah.
of their ego identity.
Hmm.
So if you meet somebody that's bomb, then you meet another dude and he not all that, and you say,
You got a
what?
comparison.
Yeah,
So,
you got a comparison. They don't want that because if you say
mm-mm.
you're not good in bed, let me tell you something. The worst thing you can ever say to a man in life, in life, is you not that good in bed. You can say that. You can say something like, "Well, we're not compatible sexually."
Boy, I was about to say you can say something as simple as that, and it'll. Ooh.
Baby, let me tell you.
Oh
I
Lord.
did it one time when I was 26. He cussed me out so bad. He cussed me down to the ground. You hear me?
Oh, I'm
And I
sure.
just said we weren't sexually compatible because I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy the act. I didn't enjoy the size. He didn't talk. It was none of that. So I was like, oh, I can't do this. Right? He's too tall for to not. He's too tall to not be good in bed.
Listen, height doesn't play a part. Okay, I wish
Clearly,
we'd stop on that. Height doesn't play a part. Feet don't play a part. Hands, fingers, nose, none of that stuff play a part.
yeah, he wasn't that great. And I was disappointed. So I just told him, he wanted a relationship. I'm like, I can't be in a relationship with this dude. Man, I told him that he cussed me out so bad. He was so mad. It was anger, it was rage. So I was like, I can never really say this to a man. You know what I mean? So
Nah, that's
they
not
can't
wise to say
take
to them.
it.
Mm-mm,
Yeah, they can't.
mm-mm.
It's because again, it's a part of their ego identity. You're attacking their ego identity. Without that part of them, they don't know who they are. So going back to the topic, that's why men get so mad that women are saying, okay, we good, we cool. I can be single. I'm at peace. Because their ego identity is rooted in you wanting them and chasing them and all of that. So when you take that away, he's like, well, who am I? Because they don't really learn anything in depth about who they really are, meaning on a internal level, a soul level. Everything is outside of them. Money, cars, women, looking away, trying to shine, all of that. It's all external, right? So if you take away the
Yep,
external adoration from women, if you take that's a lot of their identity. That's why they get so frustrated. And again, they're unaware of this. They're
they
asleep.
are.
Yeah,
They just were not taught it, so they don't
we're
know
not
any
taught
better.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and unfortunately, most of them don't really delve in the spiritual part of them. It's they don't really. I don't even know. Do they talk to God? I don't even know if they talk to God like that. I
I
don't
don't think
even
that they
know.
fully believe that there is any kind of higher power.
I don't
I
think.
really, truly don't think that they do.
Yeah, I don't think that they do. And the source of life is your spiritual foundation. So if you're cutting off the source of all things, life, spirituality, then we gonna have some problems.
Pretty much.
Particularly in a society where the template of what a man is comes from the dominant society. So they're trying to mimic a template from a race of men that they'll never be. So think about what that must do to their mind. Because if this is what we're saying, men, they're providers, they're protectors, they do this, they do that, but they're not living up to hardly any of that because they don't really have the money, and most of them don't have the fathers to teach them. Then they
That's what
gotta
it is more
find,
than anything.
yeah, they gotta find some way to express
Navigate.
what they believe being a man is.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, in our community, the men is women. That's how they kind of exert their power, if you will, of being a man through the control and domination of women. So when women start waking up and saying, hold on, I'm getting the short end of the stick, or now I'm having standards, they're like, hold on. Uh-uh. No. We depend on you to be sleep. We depend on you to be naive. We depend on you to have low standards. And it's not intentional. That's the thing. They were just raised this way.
Exactly.
Society did this to them. They think it's right. They think
Exactly.
this is just the way things are because it's
Hmm.
the way it always has been.
It's very
So they're
unfortunate.
having a problem with change. They're having a problem with women evolving,
Hmm.
right? They don't want you to evolve because they don't want to evolve, right?
They
The
don't
way
know what it
things
looks
are,
like. There's
they
no
don't.
no print of that, and with no print of that, it's scary to them.
And it
They nobody
benefits
wants
them.
to walk into the unknown. It's like walking into a black hole, and
Yeah,
it's like, yo, I'm not going in there.
because if women start getting standards and start setting them high, then men would have to actually bring something to the table more than just being a man. And I think that's the scary
Yes.
thing for them, right?
Yeah, because they don't know how to do that. There's no blueprint, or no males really are speaking of it like that. Just on the regular level beyond celebrities, but just the media, the regular society.
Because
There's no
they've never had to do anything. Because just
exactly.
being a man has gotten them everything.
Yeah, it's been enough. But now that the shift is happening, that's why they're going chaotic and crazy now, and a whole bunch of shaming going on because they're
Yes.
trying to grasp, like, how do I do this? It's
Yes.
almost like they feel like they're falling in the air and there's nothing to grasp for to help them hold back on again.
Yes. Right. Because they
So
don't
the
want to
the
do no internal
shaming is
work.
screaming. It's like they're screaming for help
Yeah,
in a
and it's
roundabout way.
because they need to get women back in line because they need access to your vagina. It just goes back to that. That's all this is really is about, to be honest. They need you to stay at a certain level so they can have access to your vagina, because if you raise the standards, then it's going to be less likely that they'll have access to your vagina. That's what this is about. Your vagina means a lot to them. It means a whole lot more than they let on. A whole lot more than they let on, which is why they have laws telling you can't sell it, because they don't want you to have that kind of power over them. This is all, it's all about that. Women just got to wake up to what is going on and be conscious of it. And again, this is not a bashing of men, because they were born into this. They think it's right.
The middle class definitely do.
And it's benefited them. They won in this thing for so long. So I understand why they're saying no, no, no when they get back into your place. No, no, no. Because again, who wouldn't want to be in a situation that they win from, benefit from? It's up to you as women to know what's going on and to not let society, the patriarchy, men, religion, all these people bamboozle you. Right?
If we
You
want
are,
our society to change, real talk, it's gonna have to come from women, not from men.
they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. They're
It would have
saying,
to be a shift within society with the women
yeah,
to force them to shift.
they saying it. They've been saying it. We're not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah, we and thank God I do see a change happening, and particularly in Black women, because I've seen us suffer the most. Over years, decades, I watched women all around me, growing up, really have to take on the weight of the world. Basically die ourselves, and never really having that shoulder of our men to lean on. And it's different reasons, different reasons for that. But I'm happy that women are beginning to see that it's not your job to carry the weight of the world, the weight of the race, any of it. It's your
Yes.
job to choose you and to make sure that you're okay.
And in choosing you is what's going to shift shift society, shift
Absolutely.
our community.
Yeah, and shift the way men relate to women and see us as well. I don't think it'll happen
Yes.
in this generation, but I'm glad that at least women are beginning to wake up and see, that we've been bamboozled, right? And again, this is not to bash men, because men were born into this too. They were born, so they think it's right because this is the way it's always been and it's comfortable, you know. It doesn't benefit. We suffer in the interim, meaning women suffer, and it's time out for suffering. It's time for living, enjoying, and having and living your best life, right? And a lot of that is going to come with setting boundaries for yourself and not
Yeah,
letting people use you
exactly.
and
That more than
trick you
anything.
and shame you and lie to
Yes.
you. Particularly
Yes.
shame, because men, they put on their shaming hat. They can't shame me because they ain't rich enough or powerful enough, but they do try to shame women a lot. Not just the choices you want to make for your own life. You don't have to revolve your life around what they want you to do. You can do what you want to do, whatever that
Well,
is.
worried about what they're saying, period, benefits you how? That's why I said you should always go back to ask the question based off of what you're saying or what you're asking me to do, how does it benefit me?
That they ain't gonna have no answer. because it
And
don't.
that's what I'm getting to. Because
It benefit
majority of
them.
the time they have zero answer and they're not going to give you anything back. They're going to go mute.
They're gonna go mute. Make sure it's benefiting you as well. All relationships are mutual. Friendships, everything is a
Yes,
mutual
everything.
exchange. Not you giving, giving,
Exactly.
giving, giving, and giving, giving,
Exactly.
giving, and everybody's just taking from you.
Exactly.
No. Again, their ego identity, the male ego identity is rooted in you serving them or you chasing them or you waiting for them to marry you and all of that. They're feeling like a man depends on this. This is why they don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to evolve because then they'll be lost in the matrix, right? How will they express their ego identity without you? And they don't know that they can because they're not their ego, their souls too. They also have a purpose here on earth. Most of them never reach it because they can't get past their ego to even figure out what it is.
That's true. It'll
A
break
lot of
down the egos a whole lot once
yeah,
women start choosing them,
a
once they
lot.
start
I
setting
agree.
boundaries.
A lot of them have huge, huge purposes for their
They
life on
do.
earth. They don't even think about it,
They
right?
do.
Because they're too busy trying to express the ego identity, in a matrix where society has told them men are, the template of a man is this. So they're fighting for that all the time to try to get to this ego identity on a template that's not even their own race. How you gonna
Hmm.
feel a template? It's not even your race. But that's what they're trying to do, right? But they can't because they don't run the matrix, and the other people run the matrix. So how are they going to do it? As a lot
They're
of them are
just
lost, right?
they're
And they're not.
quick salesmen is what they really are. They're salesmen. They're
Yeah,
trying to sell you hype. I mean, pay attention to salesmen when you
yeah,
go into
they are.
stores. They always have a response to anything that you have to say. That's why I said the best question is how do I benefit from it?
How do I benefit from this?
Majority of the time they cannot answer that question
And
because
don't
they're not
care.
looking at it. Yeah, they're not looking at it in that aspect. They don't give a damn how it benefits you.
They
They're
don't,
looking at how it benefits them.
and that is a fact. And they were socialized this way.
Yeah,
They think it's right, you
exactly.
know. So it's going to be up to you to know that it's okay to choose yourself. And they're also playing a role. Men are playing a role or trying to play one that was given to them, right?
Yes.
So that's all it is. You just got to be aware, okay? He's just trying to feed his ego. He's just trying to feed
Hmm.
his ego. They're constantly trying to feed their ego
Hmm.
because they don't know anything else.
They don't.
It would do wonders for men collectively if they just acknowledge the soul side of themselves, right? If they acknowledged, if they
That's hard. You
became
have to
aware,
believe that there is a higher power to acknowledge the soul side of yourself.
you do, and that's something they're just not willing to do for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So it's up again, it's up to you to set your standards and boundaries, in a world that's going to tell you you're not superior to men, you're under them, this and this. You came to be a mama and be a wife and all. You can be all those things if you want to be those things, that's fine, but you don't have to do any of it. You don't have
And
to do
ask
nothing,
questions. I think a
right?
lot of times ladies are quiet. We don't ask enough questions. Inquire, ask
I
questions
agree.
for more clear understanding. Don't just take what everybody's saying as word.
I
Like
agree.
that's the stamp, that's the word of what's supposed to happen. Ask questions.
You're the interesting because a lot of times they don't even know the answer. So
They don't.
they don't even know why they be thinking the things they think.
They don't.
Because it's just a
And a
program.
lot of time, I was going to say they're just riddling off whatever they have been told to riddle off, and they don't even really know what it means half the time themselves.
They're just
So
programmed.
ask questions.
Everybody is following the template. Like I said at the beginning of the show, there's a soul. We're in these costumes. I'm in one right now, woman,
Yep.
black, tall, whatever,
Hmm.
all of my labels. That's my
Yep.
ego identity. I'm none of this. I'm a soul having this human experience, right? So all of these
Hmm.
labels, all of this stuff, people, okay, call me whatever. I don't care about any of it. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I'm going to drop this and probably come back some other race in another lifetime and do it all over again. So once you start looking at life through your spiritual lens, it becomes so much easier to navigate. You don't take a lot of this seriously. It's easier to forgive people. It's just
Mhm.
much easier when you navigate life knowing that you're a soul having a human experience. You can always remember, ain't none of this real. All
It's
of this
not.
is it's a production, it's a show.
It
All of the
is. I
people
mean, think
you
about it. Do we question why a leaf on a tree, why some of them are green and some of them are yellow and some of them are blue? They don't even question themselves. They just be. It
what
just
they
is.
well a lot of what we don't understand is all of the people you meet, all of the people you know, all of this was predestined, right?
It was
We're all coming into each other's lives, playing a role of evolution to each other,
to each
right?
other. Exactly.
Yeah, all of this is purposed, every bit
Yep.
of it. So
Yep.
there's no coincidence that your friends or who they are, your family,
Nope.
you chose your mom and your dad before you got here, your family. You
All of
chose
that.
all of this to come into this lifetime to learn what you're supposed to learn in this costume that we're all wearing.
Exactly.
So when you're aware of that, right? And someone does something to you or wrong you or whatever, you can say, "No, why did I call this experience into my life? What am I trying to teach myself? Because this was some BS.
Mm.
What am I supposed to learn from this?" And that's how you evolve through the school of life because you call this situation into your life to learn and grow, to teach yourself something, to show yourself something, to try to wake you up to who you really are, which
Mhm.
helps you evolve in this lifetime.
Yes.
So you got to take none of it too seriously. It's all a game. That's what the Matrix. That's what the Matrix movie talks about. That's all it is. If you watch the Matrix, that's true. That's what's going on in the world. We're
And
just
it doesn't happen overnight, ladies. Like
it doesn't.
this is practice. You have to practice it. When you see yourself going into a spiral based off of something someone said or did to you, I mean, I understand the spiral you feel is necessary at the time, but after you calm down, ask yourself, well, wait a minute. Why did I choose this? What was I
Period.
supposed to learn from this?
Period. You know how I can't express to everybody how much you evolve just by asking yourself when something happens, why did I choose this? And trying to figure out what you're trying to teach yourself to learn from the
Exactly.
experience that you're in.
Yes.
Because you called it to yourself, all of it
Exactly.
for your
Including the
growth.
parenting experience, including the relationship experience, everything.
All of it. You called it into you call these people into both of you mutually are calling this into each other's lives for your spiritual growth. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
And when you can be aware of that, life is so much easier to navigate. It's so much easier. Yes, you'll be in the emotions and the sadness and the hurt and the pain and the happiness and the joy and all
Yeah.
of that, but you'll understand that it's all a part of the experience. The good, the
Mhm.
bad, the ugly, all of it is for your growth. Right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So don't pay men too much attention. We know in their antics, they just don't know no better. They're unaware. They're unaware of their soul part of them. They don't want to know. They don't care about it. Any of that. Because again, the way things are, it's benefiting them. That's why they're having a meltdown. Like, no, no, stay asleep, ladies. But you keep on growing. You keep on following your inner light, whatever that is, listening to your inner voice, because that's the God inside of you trying to guide you to what your destiny is, not what men say your destiny is, not what society says it's supposed to be, but what God says it is, right? That's all that matters. You coming here to fulfill the purpose that God has for you. And in order to do that, sometimes you got to shut the world out, shut off social media, shut out people so you can listen for guidance, right?
Yes.
But we're so distracted, fussing and listening to, what everybody's saying and this and that we can't even hear, God's direction, for our life. And that's priceless. That's
Hmm.
priceless. There is no feeling like being knowing that you're walking in your divine purpose. And I'll talk about that on another show because I'm gonna talk a lot about that because that's what it's all about is our divine purpose. Not men, not women, not any of this, but what God has called you here to do. We all are here for some reason, right? And most of us don't even know what that is because we're so focused on relationships. And that's a big part of life, but it's not the only part of life, right? Some
Exactly.
people have some grand purposes is that they're not even fulfilling. And I want to get us all to the lights. And I said the light is your purpose. Because once you know that, everything else comes with that. Everything comes with that. So again, don't pay no attention to men and their antics. They're programmed. They're just trying to fulfill a template society gave them, you know. You
That's
just
right.
be aware, that you don't have to be all of these things as a woman that society is telling you to be demure. Who are you? Express that for yourself, and it's okay. And people are gonna talk. They might not like it, so what? They'll live.
That they will.
They're not gonna like nothing you do, so you might as well do what you want to do.
Mhm.
You
Isn't that the
know,
truth?
you got one life to live. Live it to the fullest. And I always express that. Live your life to the fullest. It goes fast. I'll be 45 this year. I was just 22 the other day.
Mhm.
These years flew by. Flew, right? So the rest of the time I got here, I want to live it like it's my last. And I suggest you to do too. You have anything else, Vanita?
Nope, I think we covered a lot of bases tonight.
I think we did. I think we did. Yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, we're all playing roles in this thing called life. They don't really mean not as much as we put
The energy into
they they just don't.
it doesn't.
It's just some stuff they said we supposed to do. You don't have to do none of it, and that's okay. If you want to do it, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. Don't let nobody make you feel bad for not wanting to
Exactly.
play a role that they gave you.
Exactly.
So once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, everybody who will watch the playback, thank you. If you're
Definitely.
new, if you don't mind subscribing, because this is a new channel, and we do this show on every night at every Wednesday 7:30.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yes.
so maybe this weekend we'll see. Maybe Sunday will come on Sunday morning. We'll see. They hit the notification bell so you'll know if we do decide to come on and have a chat with y'all on Sunday morning. Again, thank you as always for tuning in. And if we don't be here Sunday, we might be here Sunday. We will be back on next Wednesday with
Wednesday.
another show.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.